Welcome back to the OPL. We are moving onwards, upwards, but mainly onwards to Gravitas and AV.
And ever twirling.
Twirling towards freedom.
Yeah.
Is this your version of a really expensive sneaker?
Yeah, exactly right. These are my Sokiagas.
Valenci sockies.
I'm not going to even ask what happened. It just feels on brand for what we do here. We continue into the Nick bag from Cody. Completely unrelated to League of Legends, which is
Awesome.
what we wanted. My husband snores quite a bit. He's not a small man, about 205 centimeters and nearly 120 kilos. Trying to wake him up while he snores is like trying to wake up a bear during hibernation. Impossible. What can I do to get him to stop other than suffocating him?
Aren't there those like little tools that you can get? Those like clips or whatever?
Well, there's sleep apnea stuff.
So that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Jokes aside, if it's like a regular snoring,
Yeah.
get him checked for sleep apnea.
Yep, for
because
sure.
he does seem like he's, on the bigger side, and the bigger you are, the more likely you are to have sleep apnea.
205 centimeters is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a tall boy. He could play for Gravitas. I mean, Mammoth.
The actual solution,
Yep.
pinch his nose.
So stop him from breathing.
Yeah.
The express thing she said that
How do I do it other
he
than
or she
stop
said
it?
they didn't want to do, which is other than suffocate him.
No, I mean, it doesn't suffocate him.
Is that not
I thought there
right?
was, like,
okay, so
He'll
you're
wake up.
right. I mean, yeah.
There were just like those
rhythmically.
legit clips that they put on. I don't know how they work, but like
It opens your airway.
it modulated it, right? And then like it changed your breathing pattern. So if it's nothing serious, maybe it's the quick,
So
easy fix.
generally snoring,
We're fluctuating
Jen is a
it around
nurse,
here.
right?
Yeah,
So
I know.
she-
I love that. It could be sleep apnea. Definitely get it checked out. But at the same time, you should just put him in a chokehold.
Yeah, but generally snoring is an obstruction of airways. So like it could be like adenoids, tonsils, like if you have inflamed tonsils, like all those kind of things. Also, just wake them up. Like that's the only solution to stop someone from snoring.
But the problem is trying to wake him up
Yeah,
while he
so
snores.
block his nose.
Hit him.
No, violence is not the answer.
Water.
Put
Cold
him on
water.
the couch.
Yeah, put him on the couch. Separate bedrooms.
Dog box.
Also-
Pretend like it's the 50s.
or
and it's
I-
a sham marriage.
Just put rainy noises on.
Raining noises.
Yeah.
What about
Will
the
that-
thing from
Oh, like the
Simpsons?
meditation,
Make him want
mindfulness.
to pee.
No, like it just drowns out all noise in the room.
Oh, okay,
Ready?
right.
I'll
Yeah,
put
but-
it on right now, and
So
then we
there's,
can
like,
drown out the noise of this
meditation
segment.
apps that you like play
No, it's
before
not
you
a
go to sleep.
meditation app.
It's
Oh,
you
I'm so
can't-
sleepy.
You can't get that loud. Snoring is. I reckon. Throw water on his face. Yeah. So if you just hold that up to one ear.
I sleep with it under my pillow. Probably
Yeah.
going to give me brain cancer.
But you don't sleep next to someone who's 205 centimeters, 120
It's raining
kilos,
in
and
my
snores
bed.
like a bear.
That is the most soothing noise in the world, by the way.
Emerald says fall asleep before the snorer.
Yeah, I mean, you can beat him to bed, but if
mean,
it
if
wakes
you're a
you
light
up, then there's a
sleeper,
bigger
yeah.
problem.
I feel like that there's always a light sleeper. I don't know a single
Just
couple where
wake
both
them
people
up.
are heavy sleepers. They want to know how.
Pinch their nose!
Other than suffocating, it was expressly forbidden.
The thing from The Simpsons where it can change his snoring to music.
Oh yeah.
A
Put
nose harmonica.
Yeah.
Maybe
Put a
spank
recorder up
them.
there.
Maybe get a little bit kinky
Spank him. In the face?
in the butt.
She can't even roll him over, let alone.
We'll make him sleep on his belly. Just hit him with the Ez clap.
Maybe, you know what?
Yeah.
What if his
Don't
bed...
say he's on.
Next question.
No, I think he is.
Yeah.
What if his bed was like designed like a massage table, and so he snored into a...
Oh.
Into just like
It could be
sound
like
absorbing
a
foam.
vacuum.
He's like
Yeah,
a
that's
harmonica
good.
in his nose, like,
Yeah, I
No,
don't
he
mind
means
the
like,
idea of he snores into a vacuum. Yeah, that's not bad. That's a pretty good idea.
nice.
Okay, cool.
Soul.
We took Spank his bum into something meaningful.
We really did.
That's pretty meaningful to me.
At Emerald says, what is the correct amount of time to microwave bread for a simple sandwich? I keep guessing and either get warm hot bread or slightly cold stiff bread, which doesn't mix well with peanut butter. Please help.
Stop microwaving your bread, you animal.
Why do you microwave bread?
Yeah, the answer to this question, if you have frozen bread, you just make the sandwich on the frozen bread and then wait 10 minutes and the bread defrosts into just nice bread. Plus, you get a firm surface on which to do your spreading, which is something that you, I assume after that last comment, enjoy.
I do.
That you're not going to rip that bread up when you put butter on frozen bread?
Have you ever microwaved bread?
No, because
I never have in my life.
If I have frozen bread and I want to make a sandwich, I leave the bread out to defrost.
What if it's
I
a
put it in the
garlic
microwave.
bread sandwich?
Then the oven. I don't see where the microwave comes into this.
Why do you want the bread to be like soft.
I don't get why you guys just don't have fresh bread.
Yeah, that's a bit bizarre.
Oh, I'd have fresh bread and frozen bread just in case.
But
That's
just try
toast
half
bread.
loaves
That's
only
toasted
bread.
every couple of days.
What are you talking about? I don't have time to go to buy half loaves every couple of days. I buy 6 loaves at the beginning of the week, and then I put it in the industrial freezer.
When Jenna freezes the bread, I genuinely get angry.
Yeah, that's the whole Italian part of you coming out. It's very unlikable. Just stop microwaving bread. Just wait 10 minutes. Let it defrost naturally. Use that time to create a great sandwich on there, and then just like go pee. Take a 10-minute pee and come back, and your bread's fine. Good Lord.
Love it.
Disgusting. At SithCat, should I lay turf in my garden or turn it all to tan bark? How do you lay turf? Will any of this actually help me get higher rent?
So generally grass gets lower rent because people, especially if it's a small backyard, don't want to have to mow the lawn.
It's a maintenance.
And a lot of renters will move in without a lawnmower, and then therefore you'll probably have to look after it.
And also,
Yeah.
you're going to get wear and tear on that, and so you are going to have to maintain the lawn from, like, if they've got kids and they're running around, rip it up, all that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Also, if you're going to get grass, make sure it's an indigenous Australian grass. Mm-hmm. Not to sound too preachy, but we have water problems in Australia at the moment, and too many people use imported grasses that die during the summer.
Yeah.
Most Australian grasses will die during the summer and then come back during winter.
Leave
like
your
nice and green.
Portuguese grasses at the shop.
And tan bark, not a bad, tan bark's a pretty cheap solution. Pebble's very expensive.
Just cement it over. Just
The odd Italian trick, huh?
give up on the idea of a
You
garden.
can water your cement.
Yeah, we live at a nightmarish hellhole where a week and a half ago I was told I need to evacuate my house because there was a fire coming towards it, and then 4 days later I was told to evacuate my house because the beach and the lagoon were flooding. So it's like you don't want any form of nature anywhere near you. It's gonna rise up. It's gonna try and kill
We
you.
also then had a blackout from the high winds.
I then had a blackout 2 days
Your
ago
house
from
is
just
haunted.
an insane storm, and I've never seen that much lightning before in my life. So just the grass will kill you if you put it down. I think, you know what? Just subdivide and sell off the back half. Just get rid of it, give it to someone else.
Interesting.
I think it depends actually how
garden.
big that patch is. Like, could you actually kick a football around there, or like, is it literally just to look pretty?
When
in the
you
back?
say football, are you talking about a round one or
A round football.
That's the
Thank
soccer
you,
ball.
Skimmy. I knew you
Yeah,
were my
football
favorite
one.
person
Yeah.
on that couch. But if you weren't renting this out, I don't think the grass is necessarily going to get you higher rent.
No.
But if you weren't renting it out, I would go grass because it is, of course, the best option.
Absolutely.
Because it
Yeah.
feels so good
Yeah.
under your bare little bottom when you sit on it.
Yeah, sit outside and read a book.
Well, I was about to go into a really, really deep question, and I just heard the word rosters in my ear, so we'll save that for next week. All right, it's time to move on.
I don't reckon we can move on.
Where's the best steak in Melbourne? Steel Sings Os.
Oh my goodness. I don't
Quick.
know. I'm panicked.
Quick! Oh, we found his weakness. All right.
I don't know.
Rosters.
Let's see
Rockpool.
if Gravitas
Rockpool
can
is the
find-
best steak in Melbourne if you have money.
Rockpool is a good
Gravitas.
steak everywhere. Gravitas versus Avant. Gravitas lineup Rusty.
You got Beats in the top lane, still not going to be in the mid lane. Prayless in the jungle, Suman in mid himself. Belong one, the new AD carry in the team, and K-pop is the support with Coach Omo.
How do we feel Gravitas is stacking up against AP?
And we talk I think if we literally stack them up, Gravitas wins by a mile because they have about 20 people to stack.
In the building block game that is League of Legends, their
You just
blocks
never know
are
what
tall.
roster you're going to get at this stage. There's always someone
that's
different.
not what I
I
expected.
think this is, so my understanding is that a couple of the members on this team, Belong One being one of them, was not allowed to enter the league and now is able to enter the league, has been around for a very long time under the IGN of Prowler, and has been suspended from League of Legends in the past, right? Due to multiple different indiscretions. Now allowed into the league. This is the lineup, my understanding, that they would have liked to have been playing with from day dot. Their individual skill level is getting much higher, is what I will say. All of these players that are coming in, like Suman, like Prowler, or Belong One, are individually very good players. How they fit together on a team, it is a fascinating science experiment. We listen to the same podcast called Hardcore History, and Darren Carlin always talks about like melting pots of experimentation of humans. He uses Sparta, where nothing else matters in their society apart from being able to fight.
Yeah.
Gravitas is like the Sparta of the OPL. Nothing else matters apart from raw mechanics to get on this team.
love this.
They'll put up with any other indiscretion. You don't have to be able to speak the same language. You don't have to necessarily be able to like get along with your teammates. As long as you play good League of Legends, we'll have you on Gravitas. And I think that's going to be really interesting to watch.
You could be the nicest person on the team, and you will be thrown off a cliff as a baby. All right, well, Sparta are going up against AV. Do AV have a chance after that, Jake?
Yeah, absolutely they do. They got Draco in the top lane, Lisa, who is mechanically also a god in the jungle, Chazot up in the mid lane, Gunkrab and Appy. No, my boy Violet. I'm getting a little bit sad Avant. Max, of course, is going to be their coach. This is team also very good mechanics.
I was hoping that you would call Gravitas the Persians because there's just so many of them.
That also.
But I'm willing to go with Sparta. I'm not sure where they would be in this situation, but they're off the back of a loss, so they're still got to bounce themselves back into this one and find
Who
themselves.
did they play?
I already forget.
Yeah, I can't remember. Oh, game 1. They played
Avant
Legacy.
Avant Legacy.
Yeah, they played Legacy. They looked okay.
Yeah, they were
Draco
good.
had moments. Buy healing cut if there's a Soraka in the game.
No, actually, Violet's there. I'm just being told.
Okay.
Violet's
so
in right there.
there we go.
Cool.
My boy, Ultraviolet.
Nice.
There you go. So ignore everything we just said, except a bit about the Persians. I'm very proud of you for both of the references. That was really bringing the notch up after the frozen bread discussion.
We could just sit here and talk about history instead of the OPL.
We have to get into game 3 of the OPL, so it is time for Gravitas versus Avant. It is starting right after this.
Another game, another roster, another reiteration of Gravitas as we highlighted there. Going into this game, be looking to see what kind of synergy does come across. We saw when Seaman came into the fold of things, it did change things up a little bit, quite accommodating in his ability to not necessarily stick to his strengths with those assassins and high impact heroes, but he's now flicking across into control and looking to try and really make sure that the team can do what is needed. I suppose really the question for me now, Jake, is what happens when Belong gets into the fold?
Yeah, interesting, Andre, because I don't actually know the answer to that one. I think that we'll be able to see a really good game against two promising new AD carries, however. Violet on the side of Avant Gaming, and Belong one on the side of Gravitas. If Gravitas can win this game, that would put them officially back into not bad territory. It would mean that they're within that top, 5 or 6, kind of around the order Pentanet.gg area, I believe. How many games has Pentanet won? Have they won 4 or 3?
Pentanet are currently sitting at 3 and 4.
3 and 4. So yeah,
But it'd be 3 and 5 now.
Yeah, 3 and 5. So they would be right with Pentanet in the not that bad category. So what you have is you have the Mammoth category at the moment, unfortunately. Not named by me, named by Mammoth themselves. And then you kind of got this bunch, and whoever wins from this will be promoted from 7th to not that bad.
They're
which
really
will
trying
be
to break
equal
away.
5th. And that not that bad category is fighting for like a spot in playoffs at the end of this year.
Yeah.
And then just above that not that bad, you got kind of Order, then Direwolves, and then you got Good. Everyone below the Good category kind of still figuring their shit out at the moment. So, it's just a little bit all over the place in the OPL. We like to keep you guessing. Who's going to show up this week? One of these teams must win, and then they'll be promoted into not that bad.
That hashtag may be claimed by Gravitas, but Avant Gaming might jump onto social and try and use it for themselves, depending on the result of this one here. But we're going to see straight away with Philios taken away. Actually, a Kindred banner. That's quite interesting. Wonder what Gravitas have seen from their scrims.
So I know what they've seen. There's this Korean jungler. His name's Pyochik, I think is his name, Pyosik. And it means like Mark of the Kindred or something in Korean, right? And he plays over in the LCK. And then Lisa and my jungler only were like just watching him, and he's like an insane Kindred player. So they both just started spamming Kindred in solo queue.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Gravitas are like, you know what? We just don't want to play against it. Ban. Because Lisa, pretty good Kindred, I think. And yeah, it certainly is a little bit of a solo queue meme at the moment going around.
Going successfully, I hope.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I don't watch all that much solo queue. I'm I always say it's boring enough watching scrims skimming. I'm not sticking around for the solo queue proponent of the game. I battle, like, I have like 5 coffees during the day to make sure that I'm awake during my team scrims.
That's a lot of caffeine.
I do not have time for the solo queue portion.
My patience does no limits. And we will get into the second phase.
My patience limits are like this big. What are you talking about?
And for those of you back home, it was literally a pinch. Like a pinch of salt.
Yeah, no, I have a bucket full of salt. It's going to be Yuumi as well as the Thresh taken away. Syndra will be the ban. Ari, always a possibility when Suman's here, and there's a LeBlanc locked in. However, we haven't seen it yet.
We haven't. He's definitely
Zed
had
also
situations where he could have played it.
Well, he can play it right now. It's good into Lee Sin, and it is good into the LeBlanc as well.
Gravitas, obviously, with that rotation, able to hide one final pick.
It's going to be a Braum. Yuumi and Thresh banned away. I would say that that should be a Braum pickup on the side of Gravitas.
They are hovering the Akali right now.
Okay.
This is the change to Akali. It's 10.3.
Certainly is. So, what has changed about Akali? Point and click ultimate nowadays, as well as the fact that they gutted her Q spam, which means you can Q like once or twice before you have to be able to pick up your Shroud, which obviously gives you a little bit of that extra energy back. So, not the best champion, but LeBlanc's early laning phase can be lived through. So, we'll see how they go with this one.
Morgana's going to get locked on in here. It's the very first Morgana support we've seen in the OPL to date.
With the exception of the Lee Sin, this is a very LCK draft coming in from Avant Gaming. Morgana kind of shuts down a lot of the leftover support pool, looking at things like Nautilus, as well as, you know, Braum. You really have to kind of play a mage into Morgana to be able to make up that distance. Something like a Nami would go really well right now. Obviously, we've seen K-pop play Zyra. Also would be a really nice pickup, IMO. I think he actually, on third thought, play Zyra K-pop. This is the first game where I genuinely think, he's gone Karma. Would have been such a good pick for the first time.
I like it. Would have been actually quite good with the amount of engage that they had. You're looking at 4 dive targets from Avant getting in your face to try and make something happen. The Brambles, if they were up to the air with the enraged plants,
Yep.
does a fair bit of damage. Just a little bit like a Rumble support when you lay down the red carpet. Very deceivingly strong as a support champion, but I'm very excited to see what Appy can do in this one.
Yeah, I really liked Isle's Rumble support. I thought he had a pretty good game yesterday.
Some of those ultis were actually pretty impactful.
Yeah, and like the idea behind it of the Ashe Rumble, Ashe being able to set up majority of Rumble's damage early game, is quite cool before Raze then was able to take over in a couple of the late game team fights. Obviously, didn't pick them up the W, but I really liked Legacy's draft yesterday. I thought they did a great job of putting that one together.
So we come into this one here, Spawn.
Yep.
Both teams 2 and 5.
Yep.
Both teams even statistically as well.
Yep.
Gravitas with a new roster, so a little bit of uncertainty there as to how really much we can deduce from those stats. But you look at these drafts, what do you immediately look for, and what do you immediately get excited by?
I get excited by the top lane 2v2. I think Set is such a strong champion on the current patch, and when you match it with Rek'Sai, especially if it's a Hob Rek'Sai, I didn't see whether it was, but they would just blow up Dragku's Aatrox. Any form of CC that lands onto Dragku, he should die in this laning phase. However, I think that mid lane should be in favor of the Avant lineup, and I think the bottom lane, once again, I kind of give that to Gravitas as well. I think Avant kind of have to be able to go into 1-3-1 and look for picks pretty early to be able to get an advantage in this game. They should have fairly good mid lane prior with more Gezreal.
Omo, once again, what is going on with this team right now? We've got such a different roster every single time we see you guys play. What are we looking to, I suppose, expect from Belong jumping into this position to fill for Puma? And sort of, what are we looking to achieve, I suppose? Are we looking just to try out different options? Are we looking to try and find out what is the go-to from this massive roster that you guys have acquired?
It's a bit of both. I mean, we are trying to find the best roster lineup that we can get out of the players that we have, but at the same time, all these players have a bunch of different play styles, so we are looking to like try to use that to the maximum of their abilities, to let each player play what they're comfortable in and let them like excel in their respective roles.
And Is this kind of the role that you guys envisaged that you would be playing, the team you would be envisaged you would be playing the most from the start of the split? Belong One's been hyped up for a long time. Human coming back into professional play. That you seem like this seems mechanically like one of the best teams that you guys can put on Summoner's Rift now.
Well, if you say like mechanically, that's probably true, but at the same time, we're trying to find a balance of like, you know, star players, mechanical players, and teammates that can just do their job, which I think like Puma was really good for. Like he was a really good team player as well. So like just because Belong One is playing today, it doesn't mean that like Puma is benched. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Like we're probably looking to rotate the both of them as well.
Okay, cool. And now talk me through kind of the Akali pick, because we've been hyping up Human as this assassin player. I like his Ahri a lot. Akali has got an okay matchup into LeBlanc. Is there anything else behind this right now?
It's just his confidence. He's just really confident in this pick, and like even though this matchup loses a little bit of prio in the early stages of the game, he's really confident in it, and like, well, we kind of wanted to hold last pick to support as well, so that was a large part factoring into why we just picked him this Akali, because he was confident and he knew that he could do what he needed to.
And finally, we talked about the league placements coming into this one, where members are on the top side, the bottom side, and the lower ends of the middle of the pack. Come into this one, both teams even as it comes. What do you look for as a almost win condition, if you will, knowing how aggressive Avant tend to play? Are we looking to try and change things up quite differently to what we've seen in the past, or is it business as usual?
Avant is actually a team that we are quite familiar with, so we feel like we know most of what their tendencies will be, and I don't feel like we have to change anything up too drastically to pull out a win in this one. I feel like the guys just have to play confident and play their game.
I look forward to seeing what this new roster can bring to the table. Thank you for joining us once again.
Thanks for having me.
And let's crack on with this one here, Spawn. I did see Rek'Sai hanging out in that brush, looking to potentially threaten Chaz. May just come for a drive-by, may just say hello, may just burrow away.
That was interesting. I wonder whether that look from Praelis was actually to maintain this freeze. Because you saw what happened is Suman had the wave parked in front of the turret. And Praelis showed himself, I don't know whether he knew that, on the side lane. And then obviously Chaz can't get into turret. Then with the cross, Chaz still can't get into turret. And it means that, at least experience-wise, Human's going to be able to stay up in this laning phase, right? However, now Praelis entering River when he doesn't have prio. This is craziness.
This is rough right now. Lisa does have double buff available. Quite clearly can take Scuttle uncontested. Chaz is there to ensure it. Does get some vision down as well.
Okay, now this is interesting, right? Because bottom lane did have priority. So, and what we mean by that is the push, the ability to move first. So you can see right now, Belong One and K-Pop are on their side, are pushing into Violet and Appy, right? So they should be able to leave the lane without losing too much experience or gold, and they should be able to help out with that bottom scuttle crab. Human can't, he's stuck under his turret. Chaz is going to be able to do that in response. The fact that no one moved is kind of what I say is the problem with this Gravitas lineup. Now they've stolen away blue buff. That's going to go over to Chaz. That's a bit of a disaster. Grom's going to go down as the highest experience in gold camp, and one of the quickest to do in Summoner's Rift right now if you have Machete. And there is nothing available for Praelis to be able to take in response, so this should be a double camp lead on the side of Avant Gaming, and I think it's all because bottom lane just didn't move.
And there's a part of you that says, well, really, Spawn, what do they lose? They have they have a jungler and a mid laner that only operate on energy. Why is this such a big deal? But as you highlight, yeah, the XP is the major focus, at least pre-6 anyway, when you're looking to try and make an impact and trying to find those advantages.
And it's not just that. I mean, we've already heard that they think that LeBlanc is going to be able to push into Akali already. Now, give her unlimited mana and the ability to throw out spells. That lane becomes nearly insufferable to be able to play around, right? So I think it's just the opportunity cost a little bit, the experience, as you said, but also giving Avant their one winning lane more areas to be able to win.
Looking to see how that confidence on Seoman is affected as a result. Bot lane going to go for a recall here. Avant out of resources. Going to see what they can get online. It's actually going to be Violet sitting on the Doran shield. I'm going to start off here with the Sheen. So respecting the poke that's coming out so far, but definitely quite happy with how the lane's gone so far.
That was a really nice trade from Suman. And Chaz had to be careful of his clone there because one of the things that is quite nice in this matchup is if you hit clone and it pops back next to the LeBlanc, you can actually continue your trade pattern quite nicely. And you saw that that's what the clone was trying to do, run back towards Chaz, and then Chaz had to micro it away from himself. Okay. With Ignite available, might have been a kill off one more powered auto attack in the Ignite. And Suman going to be able to get this to crash, and he's going to be up in CS for the early stage of this, unless... Ah, that's so cheeky. Lisa and Appy, this is real MVP status. When two members comes to freeze your lane, Chaz is smiling right now.
Very happy. Lisa sits there. Doesn't deny, doesn't steal, doesn't get flamed by Chaz. And says, don't worry, that priority that you were discussing, you will retain it. Don't worry about that, not one bit. Top lane, pretty stagnant so far. Both members sitting on that Doran shield, both on identical CS, both waiting for that first recall, and do have the teleports online, so quite safe and standard so far there.
And I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't seen Praelis be more active on that top side of Summoner's Rift. All in.
Well, it's the Caster's Curse. You say it's quiet, but they do have level 6. They had it for a while. They decide to both flex their might and show what those cooldowns can do, and that might be the turning point to say, now we go for a recall with a wave roughly set in the middle.
It's going to be pushing back into beats, actually. So Dragcook probably going to have to teleport back to this one. Doesn't matter all that much because Dragon... actually, Dragon is still available, so it could matter. Set could walk this one back. Beats have a situation where they can actually take an early Dragon. That's what it looks like they're going to do as soon as the teleport comes in from Dragcook. So really nicely done from Beats.
Yeah, he's holding on.
Well, the reason he wants to hold on now is if they get free Dragon and then they get early swap into top lane side, he can do what we've seen so many teams already do today, go to the bottom lane and not have to move. He can just threaten teleport to be able to join the fight, whereas Dragku now, he's going to have to walk that one out. That's only a 45-second window away, right? So as long as he doesn't die in the next 45 seconds and have to use that TP, Beats should be in a really good situation for the Gravitas lineup.
Gravitas do pick up the Cloud Drake, the first one on the board. And it did look like Avant going in for the invade there to take away that red buff as another engage takes place between both bruisers, flexing their strength. Tabby's online for both now. Doran's Blade to complement the Doran shield. With the longsword on the other side. So very similar builds, very similar openers.
Yeah, and honestly, I just don't know a way that Aatrox can win this lane from this point forward. As he gets more items and, you know, towards that 30% cooldown reduction, he certainly can come back in towards that laning phase. But you just saw how good Set's trading pattern is against the Aatrox. You tank the first 2 Qs. As he goes in for the third, you look for the a little bit of a shield on top of the true damage as well, because you're guaranteed exactly where Aatrox is going to land. So you can see right now that they go for the Swippy Swappy that we talked about. K-Pop as well as Belong will recall. They'll head towards top lane wave. And Lisa has actually started up the objective. This is very dangerous. Teleport is online right now for both Violet and Beats. Do they know this is happening?
Gravitas are going to have to face shake this one blindly as Appy is there with the blind, with the root, with the stun, with the damage to follow things up with as the members get in there. Chaz says hello. Unable to land the chains to get the damage to lock them in place. Teleports come in right now. It's 5 on 5. Members coming in looking for that first blood. Who will be the casualty? Multiple members are low right now. Lisa forced to fletch away. Does have that Rift Herald in his pocket.
How did no one die
but
there,
no
Skimmy?
one dies.
Every single ability used on Summoner's Rift, pretty much. You can see the Beats even use the ultimate there, and no one dies, but it is AV that gets themselves the dragon. I'm so surprised.
Oh, please no. Oh, Violet. Flash with the shot, with the donation of a kill. Appy.
That was a nice bind.
Appy.
Really nicely done there. So it is going to be first blood picked up. It is also going to be the objective going over to AV. Lisa has that Herald. He wants to drop it as quickly as possible as well. Lisa, one of the few junglers that you don't want to walk around with Herald in your pocket, so wouldn't be surprised if he goes towards mid lane and drops that one. But that fight looked like it should have been all Gravitas. That was an Ezreal without any mana teleporting into it. That was like Beats joining on the back end. Should have been in such a good situation. But unfortunately, it didn't work out for them that way. It's one of those plays, Skimmy, where if you do everything right, but then they win the fight or they get the objective, it actually hurts you more.
Absolutely.
Because you spent so many of your resources setting up for that play. You didn't teleport back to lane in the top lane. So now you're like 10, 15 CS down there when you could have taken the selfish play and, you know, teleported back. Mid lane, you've used both your summoner spells and your ulti. So now you have no kill threat on Chaz. You know, it looked like it was going to be a good play, but now they find themselves 2,000 gold in the hole.
Yep, Avant definitely up in that CS department. You can see when it comes to the top lane, mid lane.
Every lane?
To a later degree. The other lanes, you're going to see they have an advantage in that regard. Blong actually going to rush those Zerka Greaves. Going to stick with the Warhammer for the meantime. So going to delay the standard BF stacking, amplifying that bullet time. But it is going to be the 1-3-1 split that is assumed here, with the mid laners rotating through the top. And junglers, specifically Praelis, on the prowl. Very quiet game for him.
Yeah,
for a jungler that you want to see so aggressive and find kills, especially with Halo Blaze, just been clearing camps.
I think he hasn't got enough done, and now Ultimate comes across mid lane looking for a fight.
They are looking for a fight. They have a member in place, and it's K-pop. They want him. They're dancing. They're playing. They're singing to the tune of a bullet time that just goes golden. Gets denied. Lisa will find a kill, but Violet...
How did Violet...
I think he clenched his cheeks.
Yeah, I think he did as well. That was so close, and again, it is going to be Avant coming away with just a small victory. You can see that everything in this game has been very, very even so far, but it's just been those little kills that, you know, the Rift Herald pickup going in favor of the Avant Gaming lineup that has put Gravitas in this predicament right now where, you know, they feel like they've done so many things right, but they're still down on the scoreboard. Now, the good news is humans once again caught up in experience as well as CS. And no one's going to be able to match Akali in the side lane. Ignite Akali in the side lane.
Pretty rough.
Disgusting, probably the correct word to use. Very, very difficult.
Executioners has actually been rushed here by Beats. First item online to complement that Tabby.
Once again, that trading pattern, it's just really, really nice for the set. This is how you want to play set. People looked at set and they were like, wow, he's super aggressive, right? But really, he's someone that just farms, and if you come into his threat area, then he can start fights. Certainly shouldn't chase people.
Chaz is hanging in that shrub. He's decided, look, Beats is under tower. Too late for me to try and make a moment happen here. Drake is online. Too many things for us to lose as a result. Now, Lisa does pop that Rift Herald in the mid lane. Only one plate is down. Going to do the true damage, but only a plate remains. So once again, not finding the maximum value, but definitely putting a fair dent on the damage there, because Dragku gets rowdy. He pops the slam, he does the damage, the response comes out. Oh my dear, Beats getting rowdy. He finds multiple in a choke point. It seems like Big Swips 2.0 is taking place here. There's members getting low. Belong needs an auto, gets denied. Wants Violet, wants a triple, he's chasing. He's not gonna find it. Members are low, but that's the Gravitas that we know and love.
Yeah, that is the first one team fight for Gravitas. They're able to pick up 4 kills, and I think it was only one that went down in the end on the side. And I think that, you know, that is the team fight that they're looking for. Once again, if you come into threat range of set, he has just got so much disruption. You layer that with, you know, Humans damage, Belongs damage. They're going to be able to take these skirmishes. This time around, they get exactly that. Let's take another look at it. So Dragku runs in, but he's funneled his team into a choke point. Praelis falls down, but on the retreat, this is where, honestly, set thrives. Pile drives the tank into 2 additional members, and you can see that they still wanted to go forward. I think that was a step too far for Avant Gaming. Long flashes forward, a little bit of that glitch in the spectator client. That was certainly a flash into an auto attack, and Lisa nearly fell down as well. Could have been the clean ace, to be honest. And that means they're right back within this game.
That they are. Goal difference really isn't that much of a major talking point just yet, as we reach that all-important 15-minute mark where differentials can start to be discussed. But mid-turret still stands strong for Gravitas. Not a tier 1 tower to fall on down just yet. Bottom lane has been worked on quite tirelessly here by Dragku, but always Beats on the response, and as soon as he shows up, definitely backing away, respecting the strength that he has on display.
I mean, you just don't want to go for any kind of prolonged trades underneath a tier 1 turret against Beats at this stage of the game, especially if he has W available. And I think both teams would be really comfortable just playing away from their bruises now. Both of them are going to do very similar jobs within team fights. Obviously, Dragku is going to do more damage, and then Beats is going to provide a heck of a lot more disruption. But you probably just trade that parity at this stage of the game. Dragku's done a really good job of getting himself a CS lead.
The bind's going to land, but the Sonic Wave or not, will it matter? That is the question. Flash out, distortion in, kick online. Maybe we find seconds. Lisa, how did he not die? The Lolty, massive bullet time gets actually interrupted because he falls on down. Violet is flirting with danger. Slam comes down. Double kill onto Akali. Siemens starting to come online. He's starting to deal out some damage, but it's all over the show at this stage, Spawn.
Yeah, it certainly is another 2-for-2 trade this time. Coming across, it's going to be jungle and support. The utility players falling down for jungle and 80 carry. Belongs bullet time was a little bit too aggressively placed there, and Dragku was able to clean him up on the back end of that. But you can see Human now 3-1-2. This is why we hype him up on the assassin. You can see he starts his rotate nice and early. Human was actually on Krugs when this fight started. Belong I don't love the ultimate, to be honest. He gets cleaned up on the back end, nearly takes down Violet, however, will be able to limp out of this one. But then you're still stuck dealing with an Akali at this stage of the game. Big damage coming across from Suman. Has nearly completed that Gunblade. Ping's in the top lane, actually, Skimmy, as we're going to see maybe a 3-on-3 breakout.
It would appear that way. Draku's in the bottom side and does have teleport available. You can see the reason why Beats is joining this one is because he does not. So he's going to have first choice to try and dictate how this Rift Herald does go down.
You should just take the trade here if you're AB. You don't have the tools right now to be able to teamfight. No ultimates available on Summoner's Rift. They're already on the objective. However, you do have the chance to be able to pick yourself up first turret regardless. And that's kind of the objective of Herald, right? To be able to break down turrets. So if you can do it without Herald, there's no point throwing lives away for it. Just a tempo sync, and that means Draku going to extend this gold lead.
Draku going to find the very first tower of the game. It's been a close one so far. You can see the gold lead starting to really creep up there, especially in the mid lane. Big shoulders on Seaman to try and fulfill and make sure that he can carry this victory here, try and get that one-shot potential to buy the rest of his team some form of relief there. Getting jumped on, Belong going for some rather adventurous ultimates, but positioning-wise, making easy work for the bruisers of Avant to get in his face.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that now the question is who's going to be able to carry out this game? Is it going to be the Akali, who we've seen nearly zero priority on since the nerfs came through on the patch?
Yeah.
Or is it going to be this Aatrox, one of the most picked down champions in the OPL so far? It's something that Draku is certainly really comfortable on. You know, both of them built themselves that lead, more on the kill side if you are human, and Draku obviously taking a turret as well as additional CS.
No stopwatches are online. They're all broken right now. The 1v1 comes out. The dash for the execute comes clean. But Chaz does manage to walk away, and quite happily so. Does not need to utilize any of the summoners.
However, now Human can stick around and push this next wave into turret if he wants to. Would be safe to do it. And that's what he's going to do. So, you know, that's a win by 1,000 cuts right there. Did have to burn the summoner spell and the ultimate, but should be able to get the additional creep wave, a little bit more pressure. And now we'll have a really powerful shot. If that's not the Gunblade, he must be so close.
Well, we've got Power Spikes up online in other lanes. Trinity Force now for the Ezreal, still working towards the upgrade on that Manamune. Essence Reaver here. Gunblade now just coming online. Combine that with the Hex Drinker and the Mercs. You've got a fair bit of sustain and magic resist to combat, for the most part, the bottom half of Avant's draft here right now. Cleaver's online for the Bruisers. I can feel, I can sense a team fight looming.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see it's focus on the blue right now. However, it should be ultimately on that dragon. Love the move from Praelis here. Drops Herald purely to keep them busy.
Ooh. The bind does not connect there by Appy, and I have a feeling that if it had, he would have definitely committed to that one. Rift Herald dropped in mid lane right now, looking to respond by being the first one to take down this turret. That true shot barrage actually did a fair bit of damage.
Certainly did. Now they get themselves the dragon as well, so turret for dragon. However, Praelis gets
There
hit
it
by
is.
another bind.
The binding, is he going to flash on in to try and connect with the rest of this one? So far, all I am seeing is blue, blue, blue. Two members survive. It's the carries. Can Seaman find anything? Can he find some love in this team fight? He settles by taking down a support of all things. But that is Avant, and that is them claiming an ace.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, now they will have themselves a huge gold lead. Mid lane turret will fall. Most of this second tier will fall as well. Top lane should also go down. It's going to turn into nearly a 6,000 gold lead in a blink of an eye, Skimmy. And that's all because they thought after that ultimate from Violet hit, it did so much damage. That would have been like 1,000 damage true shot barrage, just fresh level 11. And yeah, I mean, just bit off a little bit more than they can chew, to be honest.
Came in handicapped and tried to make it happen. Let's see how it all went down.
I mean, look at their health bars already. You just should not be fighting in this situation. They walked through a choke point where they didn't have great vision as well. Human trying to do his best 1v3, Chovian pressure on the back end. And, you know, we already mentioned this, but Belong, as far as Draku is concerned, he's just going to eat him every team fight.
Belong just completely zoned out. No chance. And no chance to survive as well. So a lot of their damage, like I say again, heavily reliant on this Akali finding some value and only being able to settle for Morgana in a 1v4 situation. Gravitas need to find something right now, and quite honestly, Praelis being the steady hand, being the captain on this team. 0-3 on a Rek'Sai.
Yeah, he's having his worst game of the OPL 2020
He's
so
definitely
far.
not having a good time.
You know, he's 0-3-2 versus a 3-1-3 Lisa. And he has the counter pick. Rek'Sai beats Lee Sin in this matchup, but just has never come down to really those one-on-one skirmishes, right? It's always been Lisa looking for kicks in team fights, and Praylist being a Rek'Sai in team fights, which is pretty boring, to be honest.
Nearing that magical 40 CDR reduction on Ezreal, as he does complete the boots and upgrade that Mon Immune to full activation. Death's Dance now for Draku. If he was difficult to take down before, by God, he is a raid boss to take down now.
And that's what I was saying. This is a stage of the game where you want 100% be winning in the matchup. Even if it was equal items, you can't really shift out an Aatrox like this. The fact that he is up, you know, so significantly of the 6,000 gold his team's got, he's maybe 2.5 of it. Just means it's even better news right now for the Aatrox. And I love his positioning on some of those rifts. So as they swoop in towards this top side of the map, right, he covers mid lane wave. That means he's not under threat of a cross map. Even if the Gravitas lineup wants to trade, they're going to trade slower because they have less members in danger. Right now, Human could be dove. They just have to see these turrets.
He's trying to force something in the bottom lane right now, but oh, Human. Very lucky there. Hex Shrinker does proc, but Avant are finding infinite value right now. They zone away the members of Gravitas. They're unable to look to try and get that tower in the bottom side quick enough to respond. And Draku, meanwhile, is just pushing down mid lane for free. They are just finding priority and the ease of rotation just so cleanly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, now they can collapse back into that Baron area. They can clear out vision. As we've already mentioned, you can shove creep waves as far as you want. And I don't know what the response is. You don't want to face check this area. They could be faking this right now. They could be off already. And the further you go in here, the more likely you are to lose another team fight.
Uh-oh, they were faking. They were in the party bush. Does get revealed on now. Simmons run the wrong way, but he's
Violet tagged.
unable to be jumped upon.
Okay, so doesn't go for it.
Yeah, Rek'Sai could have pounced upon that. Deciding against it because the rest of the members on a different page. Are they now going to look for something on the tail end? Because Violet has looked to recall rather defensively. The rest of his team is gone. He still remains. Staggered recalls at this stage should hopefully give Gravitas a chance, but no, they've gone back for a recall of their own.
And if that's a more experienced team, exactly what you just called, Skimmy. You know, staggered recall, they probably look for the fight onto Violet there, trusting that maybe 1 or 2 people have gone back and maybe they can get a teleport out of someone like Draku. Instead, Gravitas a little bit hesitant to pull the trigger, and you understand exactly why. There's 6,000 gold in a hole right now, and they kind of need, you know, the next set of items to come on board.
Yeah.
Long also has gone a little bit of a different item build than what we're used to seeing. Has himself a Storm Razor.
Yeah, definitely quite different there. So you can have the activatable, or I should say passively utilized on-demand auto attack slow.
Yeah. That item sucks, IMO.
I don't think I've ever built it. Not a fan.
Only champion you build it on is Kai'Sa, and that's because like you're kind of forced to with the item upgrade there. And once again, that's a fine hitting.
That's a max range binding into a choke point as Belong acts like the wolf camp, but bullets come out, but bullets don't deliver because they can't find the kills just yet. 2 for 1. Can they find more? Both the bot laners of Avant sub 10%, but they managed to juke away. Once again, just freely rotating out and surviving to tilt the tail.
Yeah, I'm actually really shocked that that wasn't a better team fight for Gravitas, because that was a much better bullet time coming out from Belong, and Human got free access into the back line, right? However, now they're going to swap out another Dragon just for a little bit of a mid lane shove, maybe a top lane turret as well. Just Draku going to solo that one. And team fights? Oh, hold the thought.
Beats going to utilize that ultimate to get himself out and bring himself closer to the lane. Gets the shields, but he realizes the situation is dire. He will fall on down, and quite honestly, Spot, I'm starting to get worried now as a Gravitas fan because Avant now, 2 Infernal Drakes that are named, they're already ahead. They're getting more power. That buff is finding more value. 25 minutes into this one, I just don't see a situation in which Belong can really ever sit and channel that bullet time.
Yeah, absolutely agreeing. You have a look how strong Violet and Draku are, and they're not really going to lose any standing DPS race either. All of their people that they need to be accelerated at this stage of the game are, you know, Chaz is just going to flirt with the backline, going to play a little bit of interrupt, especially given the fact that he has a Morgana Dark Shield as well. That's only going to be positives.
Oh, they want to make this happen right now. They all boosted on in with the Karma, empowered the E, empowered the damage. Zoom in. Look at him flex. He's in the smoke shield. He times it out. He doesn't die after going gold, and True Shot Barrage comes in. It was only a bait. It was only a dream. The fight from Avant. This time Belong uncontested. He is not the focus of Draku. He is not the focus of the Terry. He has his eyes set on a different prize. The only members surviving, the AD carry, the jungler, is surely looking like now Avant cannot lose this game.
Yeah, and Suman obviously doesn't like Appy very much, because every single time Appy is on his screen, he just goes for him, man, like you would not believe. That looked like it could have been a pretty decisive fight for the Gravitas lineup. Chaz. Oh.
There's the Stormrazor proc.
Oh, it might have killed him. Stormrazor killed Chaz. It's OP.
There you go. It's viable. You heard it here first. Reinventing the wheel. Misfortune.
Now he's got 5 kills. Belong back in this game. If he gets himself an Infinity Edge, he actually might be useful.
He's at 70% critical strike right now. He's starting to hit like a truck, but he definitely needs a chance to actually output that damage.
So he gets himself another BF off the back end of that. The worry is that they haven't been able to get their Akali into a side lane where I said she was going to dominate the game.
Yeah.
For maybe 15 minutes, right? Take another look at this one. This is just Human, once again, burning everything to try and kill Appy.
The True Shot Barrage, how does this go?
Yeah, I mean, that's just
beautiful shielding.
A little bit of inexperience there. Draco on the back end will be able to clean up a couple of members. And Belong, flirting around, gets himself towards a blast cone. I thought here that it might be good, but obviously Chaz had held that W and will be able to bait Prayless out. Beats, unfortunately. Once again, something you learn the more you play. I've said if you're not there at the start of the team fight, you're really quite useless.
Yeah.
You need to be looking for those big ultimates to peel off your carries. Because he does a lot of damage, but never really enough to solo kill anyone, right? So that ult would have been better, you know, peeling for Human at the start of the fight, or peeling for Belong so he didn't have to burn the flash. Unfortunately, just wasn't there.
Not a single ward in the bottom of this map right now, Spawn. It's all top side. It's all onto K-Pop, who had to burn a fair bit to make sure that he could survive right now. Avant take the moment. They seize the opportunity and say, that's a 4v5. And we're starting Baron.
I honestly don't think the biggest thing there was that K-Pop got forced out. I think it's that they got Belong's ultimate for like pretty much free, right? That means there's no real way to force him off this dragon without an all-out fight.
Junglers are both even with the smite right now. They're just going to bait. The Baron is down to 4k, but they don't want it. They want kills. 17 in their position right now. Make it 18. Make it more. What can they do? Belong finds one, but Belongs finds the grave. Prayless does take down Violet with him, but Avant from day dot have just run this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Now they're 8,000 gold up. That's going to be an ace. 20 seconds left on Beat before he comes up and available. Already a creep wave here, and they do a lot of damage to turrets. 10 seconds left before Inhibitor goes down. That's probably not enough time to end the game, so instead they're pinging for double Inhibitor. Will be about a 10,000 gold lead when all is said and done, and maybe free access to that Baron. Gravitas starting to really run out of time.
Incredibly frustrating as the opposition when you're stuck in your base and lose complete control of not only the jungle, the map, the Baron, the objectives, everything in that fold. You're forced to turtle, forced to farm away, and just forced to see situations like this.
Yeah, and Appy's binds have just been on point so far in this game. You can see that Human, once again, looking for Lisa. Lisa survived on next to no health. And that ultimate that we were talking about, that flash that we were talking about for Belong, would have been really valuable in that fight, Jimmy, but just wasn't there. Another blue buff attempted to be stolen away, but not going to happen. Another Infernal Dragon as well. Can't really give over 3.
No. Draku is level 17. Compare that to Beats and Seaman. They're level 14.
Yeah.
The guy, literally, 6-1, has so much damage in his arsenal. You talk about Akali being a threat in the side lane. This guy here, untouchable, unkillable, definitely doing a solid job. And Draku's had a rough time in a few of these showings recently. He's been forced to go on the likes of Ornn and not necessarily sort of showcase that true strength, but this time, very, very comfortable in the Aatrox.
Yeah, completely agree. And the big thing for me was when Beats didn't use that teleport to get back to lane and instead wanted to use it for Rift Herald. Then they lost the Rift Herald. That really meant that Draku went up 20 CS, like pretty much instantly from there. Very hard to catch back up. Baron kind of just being given right now by the Gravitas lineup.
Draku admitting that pressure with the 3-level differential on the bottom side, saying, look, I can take an inhibitor. Are we going to do a dance, or are we going to take Baron? Once again, getting to that magical number, 4k. Goes Golden, goes for the denial, flashes on out with the black shield. This is a chance now for Gravitas to capitalize. Multiple members are low. The shutdowns come out. Suman can't even do it before he gets
Lisa's dead.
clapped. But this is a situation. Both AD carries flexing their might. Double kill onto the Ezreal with blue buff. He has cooldowns. Drag who finds that solo kill that they were so hoping not for. Making it rain, but not with money because he's the one falling down. And this spawn, surely, GG.
Should be the game there, Skimmy. You can see Dragku had won his 1v1. That was really what it was all about. Equal team fight on the flip side of the map, but with Dragku's pressure, game was going to be tough. Gravitas will fall down. Avant will take the second Nexus turret and be able to pick up their third win and join the not that bad category.
I like that. 7-1 and 7. Call Dragku 007 because he was an assassin. He was a sniper. He was taking out very special op missions and getting it done. Zoning everybody. Welcoming Belong 1 onto this roster and saying, if you want to play Misfortune, you're going to have a bad time. Welcome to the OPL. Enjoy your stay.
Yeah, and you wonder, right, whether the positioning was really that on point from Belong, because I think that a couple of those fights could have been very winnable if he was not in kill threat range of Dragku. Once again, it all comes down to how that map play happened at the start of the game. The held summoner spell in the teleport really came back to bite Beats in the bum. And then credit to Dragku, he was always just able to focus Belong out in these team fights and put him down. Praelis also with a pretty underwhelming performance on the Rek'Sai. You expect him to get heaps more done in the early stages of the game, but just kind of went missing that game.
The experiments continue in the Gravitas camp as they look to flex this roster once again. Unable to find the victory in this situation as Avant now start to break away from the pack. And we've got a rather interesting scoreboard right now in this league for the OPL. Let's break it down with an interview back on the couch.
There we go. Well done, AV. Let's just get right to it. Chaz, welcome.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
A rougher start to the day, but a good end.
Yeah, true.
How are you feeling?
Good. I'm really happy with how Violet played. He was definitely a bit nervous because only his second game.
Yeah.
And he really popped off.
He did.
And I don't know if you could hear us, but all the boys are yelling for him. Yeah.
Good to hear. Good to
I hope
hear.
so. That's what we're aiming for. We want the whole building to know.
Fantastic. Let's speak about Violet a little bit more then as well, because it's not just his second game. He is very new to professional League of Legends in general. Was there a difference with him on the stage between games? Was he much more calm today, or?
I didn't really notice him like having nerves either games, to be honest. But
Okay.
he said he was nervous the first game, and he said like in Champ Select he's feeling a lot better now, a lot more confident. So that was good. And we're definitely using him in the like, I don't want to be disrespectful with the easier matches compared to Gunkrab. So we're kind of like warming him into it a bit.
Yeah. And with him in the team, we spoke about this in the first week, I believe, as well. It was noted that Gunkrab speaks a lot for the team, in like a macro sense with the shot
he
calling.
does.
How was it in this game? You were able to get the victory with Violet both times without Gunkrab's calling. So who's stepping up?
I think a little bit of everybody. Appy's trying to be a lot more vocal this time. And Violet's definitely by no means like quiet. He's talking a lot, and when he's strong, he's really like vocal that he wants to fight.
Yeah.
Like he's telling you, go forward, like I can win this. And everyone's really confident in him, so yeah, we trust him. So yeah, it's not like we don't lack in comms when Gunkrab's not there, but when he's there, like he makes us feel more comfortable, I guess.
Okay.
Because he's pretty reassuring.
Fantastic. Well, a victory is reassuring for you. You certainly chazzed it all the way up. We'll be back right after this short break.
Is he going to flash on in to try and connect with the rest of this one? So far, all I am seeing is blue, blue, blue. 2 members survive. It's the carries. Can Seaman find anything? Can he find some love in this team fight? They all boosted on in with the Karma, empowered the E, empowered the damage. Seaman, look at him flex. He's in the smoke shield. He times it out. He doesn't die after going gold, and True Shot Barrage comes in. It was only a bait. It was only a dream. Junglers are both even with the smite right now. They're just going to bait. The Baron is down to 4k, but they don't want it. They want kills. 17 in their position right now. Make it 18. Make it more. What can they do? Belong finds one, but Belongs finds the grave. Goes for the denial. Flashes on out with the black shield. This is a chance now for Gravitas to capitalize. Multiple members are low. The shutdowns come out. Suman can't even do it before he gets
Lisa's
clapped.
dead.
But this is a situation. Both AD carries flexing their might.
Gravitas will fall down. Avant will take the second Nexus turret and be able to pick up their third win and join the not that bad category.
Introducing Macca's Mini Games. Play today and win on the My Maccas app.
Woo! Winning!
Every play wins one of your Maccas faves.